In this episode, Golden and I talk about The Mandalorian. Full speed ahead. Welcome to the Omega Beam number 61. I'm your host, Oren Merton, and this is the first episode of 2020. So we have a lot of cool stuff planned this year. A lot of great shows and movies are coming out. We're going to cover all the good stuff. We're going to pepper our shows and movies with some episodes of the lists of things that we liked last year's and favorites and some other fun stuff. So this is going to be a good year with a lot of great content. We're really excited about doing it, and we hope you're going to be just as excited about listening to it. So speaking of things we're excited about, we decided to start off with what was absolutely one of the most fun shows last year, The Mandalorian. That's the first ever live-action Star Wars universe TV series, and it's streaming on the new Disney Plus network. So just to let you guys know, we've decided to adopt a kind of light spoilers philosophy for all the TV shows we're going to do. So we're going to go into the show enough to talk about it. We have to say something about it if we want to really dive into it. But we're not going to give like specific episode details away or tell you how it ends or whatever. So if you're not caught up, but you know a bit about the show, you're not going to get anything spoiled for you. But if you know absolutely nothing, maybe you want to learn a little bit first and then listen. All right, so let's get to it. I am here with Golden to talk about The Mandalorian, aka the best thing on Disney Plus.
Well, you say it's the best thing on Disney Plus because that's basically the only thing you've used Disney Plus for right now.
That's not true. You know, I also watched the World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Okay, you do watch that.
And we've watched some movies on it and stuff, so.
Yeah, but most of those movies we already own.
Right, we've seen them if we don't own them, yeah. The Mandalorian is an original Star Wars show. I'm figuring that we're probably going to go into soft spoilers because it's impossible to go into it without giving any spoilers.
Yeah, I would agree.
So if you don't want to know anything, now is the time to switch it off. 3, 2, 1. Baby Yoda. That's all I have to say. Just Baby Yoda.
And Oren is done talking now. He feels like he does not need to say anything more.
What else is there to say? Baby Yoda. That's it. The minute I saw Baby Yoda at the end of the first episode, I was like, I'm in. I was already like just really interested in the character of Mando, the Mandalorian.
And it says a lot that Disney agreed to not make or put into production even any toys about Baby Yoda so that it would be spoiler-free.
How they kept it so secret is almost worth a show in itself. It was just an amazing... Because everybody involved was so in love with it. I remember reading articles where the director of an episode said she was so both shocked and also just incredibly moved by how Werner Herzog, one of the actors who plays a recurring character in the first season called The Client, how he reacted to this animatronic Baby Yoda as if it was a real baby, that he was just so taken with it.
Yeah.
But it's impossible not to be. And not just because, it's cute, but because it has character. It's not just a MacGuffin. It's got character.
And it's got mystery.
Right.
So, no, I mean, overall, The Mandalorian is probably one of the best shows of 2019. It kind of bled over into 2020.
Yes.
Didn't it?
Or
was it done?
I think the last episode may have fallen in January, but even if it didn't, it's the end of the year.
I still, though, say that it's right up there with Doom Patrol for me for best series of 2019.
I would agree. I would say that one of the things that Jon Favreau, who created the show and is the showrunner, and wrote a lot of the episodes. I would say one of the things that he did so very, very right is that he understands that ultimately a lot of the best science fiction, and especially Star Wars, is a Western in space. And he literally took that and said, okay, then I'm going to make a Western, and I'm going to make it in space.
You missed an opportunity earlier. As soon as you said Baby Yoda, what you should have said was, Baby Yoda, I have spoken. You should have...
That's right.
Yeah.
It is funny. This is a show that already has come up in the first season with two catchphrases. One is, I have spoken, and the other is, this is the way. And both of those, they just, just in context, they mean so much. And there's nothing specifically exciting about the phrase, I have spoken. I mean, people say that all the time, but just the way that character...
There's finality in it. Okay, you know what? There's no argument here. I'm not going to sit here and discuss it with you. I have spoken.
Right. And it's sort of the same with This Is the Way. They're saying that whether they're explaining why they're doing something or they're helping someone out, they just say, this is the way. I mean, this is how we do things. Mm-hmm. And just for the characters who use that phrase, it is deeply meaningful.
And you have so many just wonderfully fleshed out characters.
Yes. I think that the writers, Jon Favreau and the rest of the writing team, do a great job of, in what are short episodes, generally 30 to 40 minutes.
And there was a lot of outcry, I remember, with the second episode being a different, shorter or something.
Yeah, it was like 29 minutes, I think, or something.
I really want to just give props to Jon Favreau and everyone that's producing this, that they said, look, this is the amount of time that we need for this episode. We're not going to just pad it. This is the time we need. That's the time we're going to use.
Right. He's telling a story. Each episode is a chapter in a story. And that episode is going to be as long as the chapter needs to be. Mm-hmm. He's not going to pad it to artificially hit a timestamp. He's also not going to shorten it if it needs a little bit more than like a specific 30-minute episode. If it needs an extra 10 minutes, it gets it. And I appreciate that they're making that the story is dictating the length of the episode. I think that's really nice to see, and specifically something that is a great advantage of being on a streaming network, where it isn't like a regular broadcast American network where they have 30-minute time slots and they have to sell X number of ads. And so your show has to be exactly 22 minutes. And so you've got to add another scene if you don't need one, or you got to cut out all these scenes. And
this is what we need, so that's what we're going to use.
Yeah.
All of the characters are just the Mandalorian. You want to see under the face,
right?
Under the mask. You want to see his face, and when you do, it's still, this is the way.
Yeah.
There's a way to get around that. Recently we rewatched the first couple episodes with some friends of ours, and I realized that there is a Chekhov's gun in that first episode.
Yeah, that shows up at the end of the series.
It doesn't come back until the end of the season.
Yeah. And I have to give it to Pedro Pascal. He has to basically create a character and emote simply through body movement and vocal inflection.
So, I mean, we know that there are stunt doubles that are standing in for a lot of these characters, but it's still, when he's in the scene and he's doing what he's doing,
right?
Him and his stunt guy or whoever, props to bring a character to life. And
right. And speaking of stunts, we would be remiss without talking about one of the great female roles in the first season, which is the character of Cara Dune, played by Gina Carano, I think is how you pronounce her name? Carano? Carano, okay. She is a former MMA star. She's been in Deadpool and other things. But this is her first real, almost co-star. She's not in all the episodes. She's in, how many episodes? It says 3 episodes. 3 episodes out of 8. So she's in maybe a little under half the series. But she creates a wonderful character, she is physically capable of doing everything that they throw at her. And I love the fact that she has, again, a fleshed out character, a deep character. You begin to learn her backstory, what she cares about, how she cares about it. I think it's great whenever you see a warrior who's actually played by someone who looks like a warrior and not a runway model. I mean, she looks like she can do everything that she can do.
We didn't talk about when The Mandalorian takes place.
That's true. That's a good point. This takes place between Return of the Jedi, when the Empire had fallen, and before The Force Awakens, when the First Order is already a massive threat. And one of the co-showrunners, co-executive producers, maybe he's not a showrunner, but he's an executive producer, is Dave Filoni, who many of you may know the name from the amazing Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon and the amazing Star Wars Rebels cartoon. And what is great is they are bringing things into the series, into live action, from those amazing animated series, which are, back in the days when all you had were the prequels that were, I don't want to talk about my opinion of the prequels. We all know what I don't think about them.
Hey, you even admitted that they exist.
I know, that's more than I'd prefer to do. But those animated series of Dave Filoni were what kept Star Wars awesome in those days. And to bring it into the live action world, I think every time they do that in little ways, like in Rogue One, they mentioned one of the ships, and apparently in the latest one, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, I guess one of the ships in a massive battle where there's a billion ships, one of them is the main ship from Star Wars Rebels. So I love it when they do that, and they do it in this show. As you'd expect in a Star Wars show, it looks incredibly polished. The effects are all wonderful. The directors do great jobs with the episodes. The writing is excellent.
And there's a lot of heart. There
is. And I love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is by Ludwig Göransson, the Academy Award-winning score composer of Black Panther. I even remember turning to you at the first episode, telling you, wow, I love this music. I've downloaded all 8 episodes scores on Apple Music, and they're just great. They do a wonderful job of combining, sort of mashing together classical, orchestral, John Williams-ish Star Wars music with classic spaghetti Western music and Ludwig's own kind of more modern, more hip-hoppy, sensibility. And I think it creates something unique, something that fits the show, helps to give it its tone, and it's completely appropriate.
Yeah, no, if you have not watched The Mandalorian yet, and you do not have Disney Plus, find a friend who does. I'm sure that they would be happy to watch it a second time.
Oh, yeah.
It's really a wonderful show.
Absolutely. And they give you like a week free, I think, or something to try it out. So
yeah, I've heard people are joining Disney Plus just to watch The Mandalorian and then canceling their Disney Plus.
I know. I mean, personally, I think Disney Plus is actually a pretty good service. Deal. And so, I think you could do worse. And it's not one of the more expensive ones either. So I think it certainly would be worth your time if you're in the market for a new streaming service. I think it's a good one. But even if you're not, there are ways to legally watch The Mandalorian, and I would highly recommend taking one of those.
Yeah, it was really wonderful. Look forward to season 2 whenever season 2 is.
Yeah, I think they said fall. I think fall 2020.
Are they going to be able to produce
They're already filming. They were already filming it when season 1 was airing.
Wonderful.
So yeah, I'm jazzed. I'm really excited about where they're going. And of course, if you look on YouTube, there's so many rumors and they're bringing this character and they're bringing that character and they're bringing everybody.
Did you hear the Boba Fett one?
Yeah, I did the Boba Fett one.
Boba Fett somehow got out of the Sarlacc pit and he was part of the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I heard that one. I heard other characters. It's like, maybe not. I want to be surprised, so I'm not watching those videos, but. Anyway, The Mandalorian is absolutely a win in every way. It's also, I believe, the #1 streaming show of 2019. as well. So it's certainly a successful show as these are measured. Well, thank you, Golden.
You're welcome.
And that's it for this episode. You can find the show notes at theomegabeam.com/61. If you like this episode, please leave a review in the Apple Podcasts app or wherever you listen to podcasts. These reviews help the people who might like this stuff learn about the Omega Beam. If you have any comments or suggestions, please drop us a line at info@theomegabeam.com. Be good to yourselves and each other, and we'll catch you next time.